Hi, my name is Joanie''s. Welcome to my channel. Please go to my website, jonieswhitelightshealing.com. You'll find out more about me. If you're interested in scheduling a reading and a healing, please contact me through my website or Facebook if we are friends, email, text, call. You know how to find me. I do in-person sessions for folks who are local to North Central New Jersey, and I also do Skype, FaceTime, Facebook video, and phone sessions, which are equally effective to in person. I used to be a therapist. I didn't believe in any of this. I thought it was bunk, hokum, Zippo, flaky, sociopathic, no way. And then here I am, 2003, 4, 5. I started channeling departed ones and pets, doing hands-on healing, jumping into past lives in a single bound, etc. And now I do this professionally. I am no longer a therapist, yet I use my skills and incorporate that into my professional work. I love what I do. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. Press the bell all icon and you'll receive notifications of when I put out another video. Like, share, and please comment below. I'd love to find out what you thought of my videos. And if you have any requests for future videos, I'm game. So mention it in the comments section of any video and I will see it. There are no timestamps on this video. It's May 18, 2021. Spirit knows who watches and when. If it resonates, fantastic. And if not, I suggest putting it on the shelf for another time. You might have an aha moment at another time. If we do not jive, turn me off, please. Unsubscribe, please. It's all fine. No one's making you do it. And that's the beauty of free will here in Earth School. I bring in archangels, angels, ascended masters, spirit guides, departed ones, consciousnesses, elementals, and star beings. I am not a fear pornographer. I am not a doom and gloom psychic. I bring in the highest of Christ-like consciousness, meaning the ones that have experienced enlightenment. I'm not bringing in any onlookers or trainees. No lower vibrations. I make this sacred space. I put white light protection around myself, and it is love. It is creation. It is the highest frequency. And then I put my Joanie aside and I bring in a collective. When I first started channeling, they would come in one by one and introduce themselves, and I would feel them, I would see them, and maybe I'd do some hand motions, and that would distinguish one from the other. Then they started coming in as groups and councils and collectives. Okay, so with that being said, I would like to speak about, and I have my little post-it here on my screen, finding a guide. And that would include a therapist, mentor, teacher, healer, psychic, friend, anything that you would call a guide. So the reason why, I've been saying this for years about finding a therapist since I used to be one for 10 years. I very, very, very much recommend going by word of mouth. Not everyone can do that. So from that as a jumping off point, I thought, finding a guide. People are on the search for finding someone to rely on to get important information. Why do guides exist? There might be a soul who is more adept, more knowledgeable, more wise, more learned, more experienced, has been around, and is there to teach and instruct. Now, I am not here as a guide to create dependencies. I am here to impart information. And then it's almost like volley for serve. And I throw it your way and then you take it and you go with it. And then you do whatever you want with it. That's all I do. I am here being of service to assist with awakening folks. I might offer information that's new. I might supply information that fills in some holes to what you've already concluded. And I might clarify, validate, and support everything you already know, and it's just a repeat performance. Whatever the case, I am here also as a catalyst or a bridge between third dimension and higher dimensions. We all are hardwired the same way, so there's no difference between you and me. But since my veil is quite thin and I am an old soul, and I'm here to be of service in this way, I'm here to assist with sparking up the Barbie, so you in turn will have your veil thinner and thinner, so you too will then be able to do this. Okay, so I wrote down some points regarding finding a guide. I recommend going by word of mouth, going by the words that someone else has shared with you in terms of recommendation. Listen to the words that the person is sharing regarding the recommendation or the referral. If they're trying to assist someone in building up a practice and getting money to help them out because they're in financial straits, but they're not necessarily, you'd heard from elsewhere that they're not necessarily great practitioners and guides, you need to think again. It's about you and having the oxygen mask come for you first, not to people please your friend who's helping out that person. So take that into consideration when you're making that decision. Also, not everyone can have a word of mouth experience. So a lot of times we happen upon someone and it's divinely ordered. So keep that in mind as well. So it does have to do with how critical a situation is, how immediate a situation is. Sometimes we need someone immediately and we don't have the luxury of a word of mouth. It could be a provider list. It could be that we're divinely ordered and we really have to take that leap of faith. And maybe that's what it's all about. Maybe it's karmic and one must have that experience with that person in order to work through something. Whatever the case, Joni, I recommend word of mouth. Yet it isn't always possible, and sometimes the divine orderedness of a situation trumps the word of mouth. So that's the first point. Now, the second point I have here is listen to them. Are their actions congruent with their words? Do they walk their talk? If the guide says things, but they're not acting upon what their platform is, something's wrong with this picture. Now, many times people aren't aware of that, but there are other times that they are. So keep in mind and observe when you are listening and you are observing that person that you wish to pull in to offer you guidance. Again, in repeat, therapist, mentor, teacher, healer, psychic, friend, whatever the case, a guide. Maybe it's a workshop teacher of some sort, someone who's going to impart information and guide you. When words and actions are incongruent, there's asynchronicity. Synchronicity is time connectedness and like a twist of happenings that come together and they mesh. Asynchronicity means it's not synchronous. It's not in time or in step. So watch for words and actions being congruent. Next, how do they treat you? So this is key because a lot of times people choose guides and things don't work out in terms of the way that they treat you because you don't treat yourself well. So my suggestion, my strong suggestion to you is be your best friend. Work on being the highest version of you can be. Treat yourself as the God spark that you are, the creator being the magnificent one of majesty and holiness. When you know that you are holy and sacred and blessed and of the oneness, you would not settle for less in terms of how another would treat you. So if you find that you are engaging with someone that you have pulled in as a guide and they are mistreating you, you need to ask yourself first, how do I treat myself? If you are not treating yourself well and they actually are mirroring for you how you treat yourself, it's actually a blessed gift that they are on your path because they are here to remind you that you have more work to do. Do you continue working with this person who is not treating you well? That is your decision. I can't tell you what to do. Every person is in a different situation. Some people sign contracts and they can't get out of it. I'm talking third dimensional ones. Others, things possibly can be broken. There could be a price that's paid. Whatever the case, ask yourself, is this person treating me like a God spark? And if yes, great. If not, you ask yourself, how do I treat myself? And do the work and then see what happens. If you keep raising your vibration and moving up that spiritual ladder, you will find that many people fall to the wayside in terms of mistreatment because you wouldn't stand for it. Next step. The person who is the guide, do they have money concerns? Do they have financial issues? If the person has financial issues and they separate it from their interaction with you and they are two separate balls of wax, fantastic. But if a person is jonesing for money, energetically, it can spill over onto you. And you might find that contractually things get dicey and strange. Some people take advantage and they gouge. Other people, they're multi-level marketing or Ponzi schemish, pyramid schemey, whatever the case. Be aware of the other situation in terms of if you're feeling that they're adding on gratuities and adding on things and saying, oh, but you need this, or oh, I forgot to tell you. Be aware, because you don't want to be had. And this isn't your responsibility to take care of someone else's woes. That's their karma. If your paths cross, maybe it's karmic. There's a reason for every interaction and intersection. But if a person starts tagging taxes onto you, gratuities in order to pad them because of something that has gone on with them, you need to revisit that and see whether this is a healthy match. Another point, is this guide fear-based? Have they done their personal work? Do they have biases and prejudices? So it matters on what the situation is in terms of the context within which you're working, in terms of how they're guiding you, what they're guiding you about. But check out the quality of the material that's coming through, that's being imparted. If there's fear, lower vibration, possible doom and gloom, fear pornography, that is unacceptable. That is not a high vibration, and it is not love. And that, I would say, is to erase and delete. Now, why would someone offer that to you? Well, if you were in imminent danger, that is sound. Okay? If get off of the ledge, you're about to fall. Stop drinking that. It's car battery acid. You get my drift. I'm talking about, ooh, I don't know, that doesn't sound, I'm not sure what I'm getting, but that isn't a good idea. Or oh, pay me $1,000 and then I'll get that energy off of you. Or these crystals, pay $500 and they'll protect you. I'm not sure what's going to happen next year, but it doesn't look good for you, but I don't know. Oh, I don't know. All of that stuff is bullshit. And also regarding prejudices and biases, there is no need for it. If you have prejudices and biases, you might not care. So you might be pulling in folks that do that. I don't work in that way, and it's not condoning. I don't go there. That's not my circle. So if you want to keep prejudices and biases, that is your birthright. Everyone has free will. I am addressing folks that wish to be with folks who are not prejudiced and biased. Do we have prejudices and biases? I think in some way as humans, we have them, even if it's microscopic, and then we can look at it and go, holy shoot, okay? I'm talking, is this person working on themselves? Are they of a lower vibration, and are they moving you away from love, the high vibration? Fear is a lower vibration, love is a higher vibration. Esther Hicks channels Abraham, there's an emotional scale. One of the Hawkins, it's not the one who was deformed and paralyzed and the atheist who died in the wheelchair. It's the other one who wrote Power versus Force. There's also another scale as well, from high to low. You could look up the Hawkins scale. You could look up Abraham emotional scale. And let's see. I also have down here. Bottom line is ask yourself whether this is a fit. Do you feel comfortable with this person? Do you trust this person? Do you feel drawn to this person? After you are not in their presence, how do you feel? How will you feel in their presence? How do you feel when you are not in their presence? If you feel uncomfortable, that is a sign. You need to go with your heart knowing, your gut, your intuition. If you are drawn, and then after you're drawn, and then you don't feel well, then you need to take a look at why you're being drawn in the first place, and then what's going on here. But if you were drawn to someone and you feel good, and then when you leave and you're no longer in their presence and you still feel good, that is a very positive sign. Okay. You are a consumer. You can shop around. You have the right to shop around, and you can also leave. That is your free will. Birthright, gift. It is a blessing. A lot of people don't realize that when they're shopping around for a guide, they can do their exploration. They could think that they found someone, and then they can stop. They can do this at any time, and it's a beautiful thing. I highly suggest it. Karma. When bad things happen to good people, when you engaged in some type of guideship with someone and it turns out to be a catastrophe, almost always it is negative karma that's being replayed. Either that person did it to you in another lifetime and you had unforgiveness towards them and it's a replay. You could have done that to them in another lifetime, and this is playing by opposites karmic debt, and now you're getting back what you dealt. You could have had this experience with someone else, and now another one steps forward to give it to you again. You could be a curious soul, and you're curious to know what this experience is like, so you pre-birth plan for it to happen. It could be being of service for another, that you are going to have a bad experience happen in order to give that offender the opportunity to look at their actions and words and raise their vibration and stop. Okay. You could also have post-incarnation free will choice, where due to your flow chart of decisions, you end up right there. And you end up with this person in this situation, and it plays out as it does. So, with all that being said, it's all good. I bring this to you having been a therapist for 10 years. I worked as an individual and group therapist in LCSW in New York City for 10 years. I was a certified Gestalt therapist with postgraduate certification in that specialty. And I saw a lot. And here I am as a psychic, medium, healer, and guide, spiritual guide. And that I put this all together as a package, and I've come up with a lot of conclusions that I felt were important to share here. So with that being said, I really hope that this assisted you. I look forward to your comments, questions. And again, if you have any requests regarding future videos, please reach out to me because I love doing this work. Have a very happy day and good luck to you in finding your guide. Bye, y'all.